This segment coming up is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Pizza lovers get it at marcos.com. Ryan Leaf with us, 365 Sports, Paul Catalina, David Smoak. We've had Ryan on many times. Great story. And we will get into his story and also what he's tried to do for many, many others. Interesting week for you?
A little bit. A little bit. Got to play San Francisco Golf Club on Tuesday.
Did you really?
Oh, man. And that was something special, let me tell you. Had a couple of days off, relaxed, played some golf, and got to work here yesterday and today, and then play a little more golf tomorrow and head home.
What's your handicap, like a 1?
It was. I have not been playing very well of late, so it's risen. I think it's sitting at somewhere around like a 4.5 right now.
Somebody told me once you get 10 good days and they're not all in a row in a year when it comes to sports like that.
Yeah, well, if you play 90 times a year, then hopefully there are a few more better ones that works out that way. I've really taken golf into my heart for my recovery and wellness, being outdoors, being with other men, the fellowship of all of that. It's been a big part of my recovery, and I try to take advantage of that as much as I can.
It is probably the most exhilarating and yet frustrating and sometimes humiliating thing you could do as a hobby.
No matter how good I get, I'll never be as good as those professionals. I'll never hit the ball the same. It's always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be a test. And I want to be tested, and I want to try to achieve something and do something well. And it's something I can do the rest of my life. Like, I can compete for the rest of my life, and that I still like to compete.
How much did you miss that part of your life when you were going through your struggles, the competition, and I'm sure it probably made certain things harder to deal with because you didn't have an outlet anymore.
Yeah, I mean, competition, I tell people all the time, was my first drug of choice.
Yeah,
like I wanted to compete at anything and everything, and that's what we were going to do. And once that went away, there was a void, and I filled it with a bunch of despair and of course, self-medicating to the point that took me to a prison cell. So, and it's not like, that's 14 years removed now, still hasn't, meant I don't still screw up, I do. I mean, so I have a beef with this doctor that was our Chargers doctor because of how he handled the post-football life of Junior Seau. Just thought it was completely unethical of him to be his drinking buddy, and then still prescribe him Ambien and pain medication, especially after his first suicide attempt. I just think it's absolutely abhorrent that he did that, and he's never taken any accountability for it. And so I've been on him about it a lot. I work with a ton of NFL players, former NFL players, and I hear their stories, and I think about the fact of what a great person Junior Seau was, and how different it would be if he was still here, and why my dumbass is. And so yesterday, my wife and I talked about this. They're like, you're going to see him. We've practiced this. You're going to take the high road and everything. And sure enough, the first person I see at 8:30 in the morning yesterday morning is this dude. And I walked by him, and it was a test, and I failed it miserably. Said a few F words, called him a fraud, let him know it. And then immediately, like, it feels good for 10 seconds, maybe. That's all it does. Feels good for 10 seconds. I told him what I thought about him, and then after that, you're like, what are you doing? You got a kid at home. You're trying to teach him about attitude, behavior, and effort, and you just, But I think it's a humility thing too for me. I think it's just something I got to continue to learn and remember that I'm a flawed human being trying to be better every day.
There was a lot of discussion about it, publicity about it. How do you handle that? How did you said what you needed to say? You don't like this guy for all the reasons you said. Did you expect to be one of the headlines on Radio Row yesterday?
No, I didn't expect somebody to be, but you always got to imagine people are listening,
Absolutely, yeah. It's a camera. Everybody has a picture, camera, video, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't mind that as much because there was nothing to it other than me yelling at a guy, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't care. I slept 11 hours last night. So
damn you! Yeah. I slept 6.5.
I was asleep at 8:30. I was asleep at 8:30, and I slept great. I watched the 1980s Miracle documentary on Netflix.
It's so good, isn't it?
I love it. It's my favorite movie, and so I watched that. Listen, like, no one has it better than me. Okay, so like if that kind of article is, no one has it better than me. You know why? Because I have the superpower. I have a superpower. It's called perspective. Like I was in a prison cell, 12 years ago at this time. Like there's nothing anybody can be like, oh, that guy's being an ass. Who cares? Like I'm going to sleep in my nice comfy bed last night. I'm going to get up and I'm FaceTime my kids. I'm going to admit that, and take accountability that I probably did the wrong thing. I did it the wrong way. But like that doesn't change who I am and who I am moving forward. I don't like the guy. I think he was unethical. I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to need to do it in a better way than the way I did it.
When you play hard, sometimes you fall hard. Sports injuries require special treatment. At Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, our team of expert doctors provides athletes and active adults with comprehensive sports medicine care, diagnostics. Whether you're in high school, college, or beyond, we'll help you get back on the field. Call on the team physicians for Baylor Athletics. Call Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics.
Well, you've brought up the story. You woke up right in a prison cell on the floor?
Yeah. It was on March 30th, 2012. Woke up and was in a suicide schmuck. Don't remember being booked or brought in the night before, and ended up being the best thing of my life. Sheriff's Department saved it, Didn't think it at the time. You never do when you're in it. But I'm really grateful for everything that came with it because it's given me this life.
Well, it's also allowed you. You're one of the more fun analysts for me to listen to, whether it is you doing your podcast or you doing actual games. That part has been so cool for me to see because you've clearly always had this great football mind, and then now the world gets to see it. So it's been really great, Ryan. I love it. I love it when I turn the game on and it's Ryan Leaf. I love it.
Thank you. Listen, I work really hard at it. The thing about recovery too is if you're a hard worker, like recovery is easy because you are structured and you go about your business and you almost have that. It's almost a competitive thing for me with it. And calling games is the same thing. Being an analyst is the same thing. I want to be the best. Also, I don't think I was probably the best guy to work with when I was a player or be around when I was younger. And I want to walk away from this business. And if the only thing anybody says about me, it was really fun to work with the guy. He was respectful to everybody on the crew. Like I know who makes me good, right? I know it's the director. I know it's the guys who are behind the cameras. I know it's the people that are producing the stuff. We're just the talent. And I'm told that all the time by my wife who worked in production for a long time.
Brandon just told me that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. And so that's what I love about it. I love that I'm back together with the team and we're trying to do something together to give the audience the best possible product we can. It's simple. We just make it that simple, go do the work. And I'm not a huge storyteller when I call games. I just want to call the ball. So if it's a blowout, it doesn't matter to me. Like people talk about calling blowouts is difficult. So you got to talk about a bunch of different stuff. And I'm like, no, who's listening or watching? It's the third string mom who wants to hear about her son playing, now that he's in the game and playing. And I talk about the football and the decisions they made. And so it's easy for me if I just make it about the ball.
Well, we do games. We did games together for a long, long time. And you always, if it's 48-6 in the third quarter, you got to figure it out. But I like that perspective of what you said because you're right. You always see the parents of the star quarterback or whatever, but a lot of other stories are out there, hundreds of them, dozens of them.
And those that sit and I was telling you, watching the Miracle documentary last night, the only hockey player out of the 240 that were there at the Olympic Games that year, the backup goalie, the guy that won the national championship with Herb Brooks at Minnesota, did not play one single minute. He met his wife, who was an interpreter in the village, and he said it was the best thing that ever happened to him. So if he doesn't decide to be the backup, guy that would probably never play, he wouldn't have met his wife. And those are the types of things that just translate to me. They sound like coincidence, but they're meant to be. And I have a ton of those things in the last 14 years.
Ryan, what do you think of the two very different quarterback stories in this game? Sam Darnold, who's endured, and then Drake May, who is, made in a lab, it looks like.
Well, I liken these two quarterback stories to me and Peyton, right? And so, I went through exactly the same thing Sam Darnold did, right? I had to wear the anchor of being a draft bust. The only difference is he did not let it deter him. I didn't handle it well at all. He has absolutely endured. gone back to work in the lab with Jordan Palmer every summer in the offseason and come back stronger. Even last year, after winning 14 games, the Minnesota Vikings say, no, not good enough. And then finally somebody steps up and says, we got your back. We think you're good enough. Seattle does it, and he goes out and performs for him. I love his story. As for Drake May, he has a really tough year last year. They only win 4 games. Peyton only won 3 games his rookie year. Then they come back the next year. Peyton goes 13-3, gets to the playoffs, and look at Drake May. I think those are very similar. I think they're similar in terms of how they go about their business, how they play the game. Couldn't be more happy for both of them.
Ryan, I know you got another one to go to. I want to get you, make sure my number I have for you is the same. So I want to get you on again. Okay. I love your story, man. I love how you tell us a little bit about Daryl Shorter and also the recovery playbook.
Dr. Daryl Shorter. So this is the thing I talked about, like Kismet and why things happen. So 4 years, well, it was more than 4 years ago. It was when Peyton Manning was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He asked me to come.
Wow.
And a lot of people that I thought were kind of close to me told me not to go. And I was kind of like, why? And they're like, just they're going to make fun of you. It's going to be a big joke, and I was just like, I don't think that's the case. I think I know how hard this was, and he did it. There's like 374 Hall of Famers of all time. So I went, and sure enough, it was a great event. I got to see him and his family and everybody involved. But then one night at the lobby bar at the hotel before I was leaving, I sat down next to a gentleman. His name was Armando Colombo. He was the CEO of the Menninger Clinic in Houston, Texas. And he told me they had just signed a deal with the NFLPA, our union, and they were going to start treating former NFL players. And I just looked at him and I said, what can I do? How can I help? And so he made me an ambassador in recovery for the Menninger Clinic. And so for the last 3 years, heading into the 4th year now, I go down there anywhere from 4 to 5 times a year. And while I'm there, there'll be anywhere from 8 to 12 former NFL players there. And that peer-to-peer thing, the ability in that moment to show them that there is hope. Like, my story is, they don't believe there's hope. They believe it's over. Mm-hmm. That they have to start all over again. What is their identity now that they're not a football player anymore and they're going through this? I'm telling you right now, it's the most fruitful thing that I've ever done. And that all happened because I made the choice to go and support my friend Peyton Manning be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Every family has dealt with this.
Yes.
Sometimes multiple people in the family. It hits everybody. And so for what you're doing, and we've had you on many times, and like Paul said, you're doing a great job with the college stuff as well.
Thanks.
Thank you for being what you're doing, and thank you for taking control of stuff and admitting what happened yesterday.
Hell yeah! I mean, I'm a human being. I'm a flawed human being. I reacted because I told you before. Like, can you imagine Junior Seau sitting here right now with his story?
Yep.
Having gone through what he did. There's survivor's guilt to that. Like, why is my dumbass the one here doing it? I was the shitty player, and he is a guy that would. And so when I think about that, I get angry because instead of helping the guy, he enabled behavior towards his ultimate death, and that pisses me off. So
thank you.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for sticking up for what you believe in, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I got to do it better. I can't do it in the way that I did.
Yeah.
So.
Good for you.
Yep.
Ryan Leaf with us. And again, it's the Menninger Recovery Playbook on 365 Sports.